Welcome to the Vocal Lab Podcast with your hosts Shelby Rollins and Jason Catrone, bringing you the best from the music industry. Get ready for first-class conversations packed with exclusive techniques and transformative insights, all designed to help you reach your top note. Welcome to today's episode. Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Jason.
What's going on? Podcasting
with you, buddy.
Podcasting away, yeah.
Yep.
We got a fun one today coming up.
Tell us about it.
Yep, you guys are going to love this guy. Hudson Ingram. What's up, Hudson?
What's up?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome to our
honored
little
to be here.
humble podcast.
It's incredible. I feel like I'm in a spaceship right now.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, it
it's
does
great.
kind of have that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great to have you here. So Hudson and I have been working together for a few months in the vocal realm of things. Met through his manager, and from Austin.
Deep Austin, Texas. Yeah.
Now full-time Nashvilleian as well.
I know, officially, 2 months in.
What do you think about it so far?
It's basically Austin, just a little more songwritery in the best way. I love it here.
And
It's
more
incredible.
green.
Oh, so much
Austin's
more.
like brown.
Well, it's Austin's
yeah.
Austin's like a really nice polished blue,
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right.
and Nashville is definitely more green.
Yeah.
But they are missing a town lake. Like, we need a big body of water here, I feel like.
Yeah, we have some
got some
small
lakes.
ones. The big ones you have to
First
drive about an
Priest.
hour out.
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Old
But
Hickory
they have
Lake.
you have Lake Travis. And,
Lake Travis. I mean, there's a ton.
Well, plus the cool thing about Austin to me is one, the food scene, the food and music scene. Same for
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah,
There's
well,
lots of
food
similarities.
I've
here's
been to
really
Austin
good,
once,
yeah.
and I was excited about eating there.
Yeah, that. But their downtown outdoor use is awesome because you can actually canoe on the river,
Yeah.
or that's a lake, right? It's actually part of the lake, I think.
I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But so you got that. You've got what's the swimming hole? What's that called?
Burton Springs.
Burton Springs, yeah, which is super cool. It's just like, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, it's super cool looking. It's just
awesome,
this like,
yeah.
it's
Like a
it's
natural
spring.
It's
spring.
fresh
Yeah, yeah.
springs
Yeah.
that flows into this kind of concrete pool they made,
Oh.
and people go swimming. It's in the public park.
See, I could get behind that. I'm not a lake
Yeah.
guy. I'm an ocean, Gulf of Mexico girl, and so I like to be able to see the bottom of the water. I grew up on the Gulf, so I don't do lakes. I can't see an inch below the water. I think I'm going to get eaten by an
you
alligator at
coastal
any given
people-
point.
Okay, well that's fair. We don't have alligators here though, but you coastal
I know what's in
people
there.
have a weird thing with lakes.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, you'll have to go on a lake with us sometime. Me and my friends one of my friends has a boat. And he's always got these cool people that come out with us because he's from Malibu, moved here with his mom.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had one of his best friends growing up. Last summer we were there. It's a funny story, so I'm telling you this. And she was terrified of the lake water. Like, again, can't see it.
Okay.
She's like, fish are going to get me. And we're all like, girl, fish don't bother you. Like,
Snakes do.
Well, he told her you might see a snake, but I've never seen a snake in there.
I've never seen a snake.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. We're back in a cove. I kid you not. We see a snake. I'm like, oh
See?
gosh. And she's like,
Of
I'm not going to
course.
get.
See?
I'm not going to get in the water. Then
out.
give a little time, and there's this like huge like vulture kind of thing just comes swooping down, grabs a fish right in front of our boat. Give a
Yeah.
little time, and one of my friends is like, "Oh my gosh, look over there!" And like in the distance, like 100 yards or something, there's a whole family of deer swimming through the water.
Deer? Oh.
Deer, and she's like, "I've
That's
never
less
seen that."
scary. I thought you were going to say
I know,
alligators.
but she's freaking out. She's like, "You guys, there's just wildlife everywhere." And we're like, "Man." So we had this point is this. We had this huge lily pad thing you sit on. She gets on it because she's like, "I'll at least do that," because we're all in the water and she's there. No joke. She's just laying there, and a fish jumps out of the water and lands on her. She lost her mind.
See, she was putting out that energy.
She put out the energy.
And nature responded.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's a fun story.
Wow.
That's the whole point of that.
Well,
I know.
we're glad
But
you're here.
We're glad you're here.
I'm glad I haven't been attacked by fish.
Yeah,
too.
not yet,
Around
right?
here, yeah.
The sharks of Nashville are lurking, though.
Yeah,
So be
they
careful.
really are.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
Sharks are everywhere.
I would not be shocked, yeah.
Tell us about that move, though, because, like, this is a big deal for you. Like, you're still, like,
Yeah.
1 foot in high school and 1 foot in college, and mom and dad are like, yeah, I moved to Nashville. Not many moms and dads would say that.
Yeah, well, I think it's incredible. I feel so far removed from it now, but like 4 or 5 months ago, I was planning on finishing out high school in Austin and doing all that stuff, but I kind of, had been making trips back and forth, and I've just felt like this is where I needed to be, and I figured out a way to do it with school and stuff, because like finishing high school is kind of a given.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right.
in my family.
That one you kind
It's
of
a good
want.
thing to
in
do.
Yeah, I
general.
know. Yeah. But yeah, no, I took a U-Haul with my dad, and we made the 12-hour drive all the way up here, and it's been incredible. Yeah.
I feel like not many people would do it quite that way. I mean, Erin, we talked to Erin Kinsey.
Yeah.
She actually graduated a year early from high school so she could move up here when she was like 17.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's rare, right? And partly it's rare because people your age, you're 18, right? People your age don't typically have enough relational connections in the professional music industry to actually make that happen.
yeah.
So tell us about how that happened for you.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to have loved music and have been doing it pretty much my whole life. I mean, growing up, my dad is a musician, so I kind of was introduced to the music at a young age. But like, I started posting videos online when I was like 16, like freshman in high school, and
You were doing sports then too, though,
yeah,
right?
I was playing football, and then, well, funny enough, I had quit football.
Okay.
Like the week before I started posting TikToks, and of course, you catch some flack there at
Yeah.
a Texas high school.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah.
But I mean, it started working, and like eventually I got a manager, and my manager introduced me to people, and you know, like over the span of however long, 2 years.
How did your manager find you?
Yeah, he found me online.
Online?
Yeah, through TikTok.
Yeah,
which is-
okay.
Reached
which is
out.
kind of crazy. He reached out,
Yeah.
and it just kind of worked. I feel like I was very lucky in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
I feel like you had to do a little bit of recon, make sure this was like legit.
Yeah,
So you're
absolutely.
reaching out on social media.
Like I was totally doing the whole like stalker on Insta.
Yeah,
and,
I'm
like,
sure.
doing the whole thing. But
Did
I
your
have
like
to.
did
You
your
really have
parents
to.
of course.
did your
of course.
parents jump into, because like of course your dad knows the business
Yeah,
well 'cause
yeah,
he's been
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
So did they like also do their own kind of
I mean,
recon?
they definitely were like on the lookout, but
Yeah.
ultimately like it was my decision, and
Totally.
Yeah.
I felt trust with Theo, who's my manager now,
Yeah.
and we just kind of started working like nothing was official, and he kind of started helping me out,
Yeah.
building
That-
credit. and
Yeah,
trust.
totally.
Really cool.
And you, if I remember this right too, just from our conversations and sessions, like you
Yeah.
also taught yourself to play like 8 million instruments
No way.
Yeah,
and
well,
produce and write.
in
Like you
Austin, it's like you have like, or at least where I grew up, like I didn't really have musical friends. Like I mean, I knew people who did music and played stuff,
but it's all football down there.
it's all football, it's all sports, and I didn't
Even
really
in
hang
Austin,
out.
because Austin's
Oh,
like
Austin's
live
huge
music
football
city.
town too.
Yeah, Austin's like crazy. I mean, specifically the school I grew up. Like, I mean, public schools around there too. Like,
I mean, there's
know.
like stadiums that seat like thousands of people.
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
pretty intense.
Well,
I
I
think
mean,
it's
it's
just
Texas.
Texas in
Yeah.
general.
I get Texas, but Austin to me is
Yeah.
sort of this different sect of Texas.
I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
Definitely. But I didn't really grow up like in the city. I was kind of like in a suburb out of
Yeah.
town. So like I was just kind of, finding my way through there. But yeah, I kind of learned how to do it all myself because I didn't really have many friends that were doing it.
Yeah.
What made you want to start though? What was the thing that was like, I'm gonna stop doing football and I want to do some music?
Yeah, well, I had grown up like doing, like plays and stuff in school
Yeah, okay.
and musicals and all that, but I never really like fully got into that side of it. I was always kind of obsessed because like going to live shows, like seeing Taylor Swift when I was like a kid, like that is kind of what drove me towards music. Like that was a feeling that I couldn't really get anywhere else.
Sure.
And I like had listened to music so intensely. I feel like more intensely than all my friends had listened to music, and I like would dive like super hardcore into an album for like 2 months, and like then move on and do all this stuff. So like
Because you just love music.
yeah,
clearly.
I just love music,
Yeah, that's
and then
awesome.
also like having the accessibility of like YouTube and like all that stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
game changer. And
Totally.
like I had a laptop in like 5th grade, and so I
Yeah.
started making beats like in
That's
FL
sick.
Studio,
Love
and like,
that.
Oh, wow.
like watching YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
Like watching my favorite artists explain how they made music is kind of
So cool.
what made me want to make my own,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a cool, you got to tell this story because you told it
Yeah.
to me one day and it blew my mind. Tell your Taylor Swift story. Like, that's a cool,
Okay,
fun
if a
story.
Taylor, if a celebrity type story blows
Yeah.
Jason's mind, it's probably a good
Yeah,
story.
it's a good story.
I mean, it's Taylor Swift.
He was
so.
cleaning out his closet to move to Nashville. And
Yeah.
he found some stuff.
So I was cleaning out my closet, and I was moving out to go up here, and I just finalized like my pop deal and doing all this stuff. And I open up a box, and there's a CD, a Taylor Swift CD of Speak Now. And it it was a message from Taylor to me saying, "Keep on rocking." Signed Taylor Swift. And
Wow.
I thought, I mean, it's funny. I sent it to Jason, and or I showed Jason.
Yeah, you showed me on a Zoom call.
Yeah, I know, and it was crazy, and it was just like a full circle moment because like I guess she had given it to me as a kid or something, and
Wow.
Because
Yeah,
your dad
I
had
found it.
put her on one of her first tours. Is that right?
Yeah, well, they were on tour and she was an opening act, and then they had become friends through there, and him and Andrea Taylor's mom like talk and stuff, and she ended up inviting me
Wow.
to one of the Eras Tour shows.
As a guest of
Awesome.
Taylor's mom. I'm
Yeah,
like, this is so cool.
I had I had a Betty cover or something.
Yeah.
Like one of her songs had popped off, and
Okay.
she had found the video and reached out, and it was great. Yeah.
That's
I think's
so cool.
cool
Well, now
about
we
that
need to give a
story-
little context because of your dad.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
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 why
yeah.
that's
But
a connection.
let me tell why that's such a cool story to me is that not that you know Taylor or that you saw
Yeah.
her tour.
Yeah.
It's the fact that Taylor has become the biggest star on the planet,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
she still remembers the people who helped her in the
best.
early days.
The
Right, that
best.
says
Yeah.
everything about her. And a lot of times artists can lose that
Mm-hmm.
realness to who they are as a person.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's not common
Yeah.
probably, but it does happen. You know,
For sure, for
So,
sure.
But yeah, your dad. You can break the news, I guess now. He's a
Yeah, I
country
guess. Yeah, I mean, he's a singer, he's an artist, and back in like 2006, I think it was like the year I was born, she was on tour with him and another artist, and yeah, I guess they had kept in contact, and I grew up going to all the Taylor shows and doing all that stuff, so it's kind of a full circle moment when that happens, you know.
What's been one of your favorite live shows that you've gone to? Outside of Taylor, if it was Taylor, because we just talked about her, but like,
She's incredible,
Yeah.
but
is there a show that's like
honestly,
really
like,
inspired you?
it's funny enough that I say this because this is totally full circle. Like, I went to ACL my freshman year, and I had seen Miley Cyrus in concert.
Oh, no way.
And this is another artist that I was like freaking out over. Like my sister
yeah.
grew up on Hannah Montana and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
all that stuff. And it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Like
She's a great live
she's a
performer.
performer. She's an entertainer. Like
She
no
is an
question.
entertainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just keeps getting better. That's what I love about Miley.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that was one of your favorites at ACL.
That was one of my favorites,
And that's
yeah,
become
yeah.
full circle because why?
I am going to play ACL in
Hey,
October.
what?
Austin City Limits.
I know. It'll
Great.
be
And that'll be your first trip back home, right?
first trip back home, first festival.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Dude,
thank
that is
you.
such a huge thing. I know you know
is a
that,
big
but
deal.
like that's such a big deal.
I
That's
mean,
been around forever.
It's a bucket list show. I mean, it's great, and hopefully I'll go back the next year and the year after that. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
I
You're
think
gonna
it's
have
cool that it's a hometown show too.
I know.
I know, it's
to
a
be like,
hometown
I
show.
grew up coming to this show.
People are
It's
gonna be
gonna be
losing their
incredible.
minds. You're gonna
Yeah.
have the best videos from it, right?
Oh,
Just
it's the
Yeah.
best.
like
the best.
it's just
That's
gonna be
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long is your set?
It's 45 minutes,
Oh wow, nice.
That's awesome.
so we'll be moving and grooving. It's
Yeah.
gonna be, it's gonna be a good time for
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's really
Yeah, I know
cool.
your dad was like, you need to fly down and come to this. I was like, let me look into that.
You should come.
Yeah, I totally should. I've never
Yeah.
been to ACL.
Yeah.
That would be
No,
so
it's
fun.
It's an experience for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So tell us about the process of like, because especially people in your space,
Mm.
right, that are still like kind of coming out of high school, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you've had some cool things happen.
Mm.
What's that process been like to like? You told us about getting the manager, but then you also get a pub deal and a record deal,
Mm.
which would seem pretty quick to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Right? And it is. Honestly, it is.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with your family in any way. You've done this all on your own with you and your
Yeah.
manager, right? And I mean, it has to do with your family because they've supported you,
Yeah,
right? But they've not made phone
and they're
calls.
formative in who you are as a
Yeah,
musician.
totally.
Yeah.
But like, you've made this thing happen. Like, what's that process felt like? What's it been like? What do you think was the big turning point?
I mean, honestly, it's very surreal. It's kind of something that like I've always imagined myself doing. Like this is kind of what I've always wanted to do, but I mean, it's weird to experience it in real life. Like it's kind of just an insane
has to be.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
especially living up here. Like I had the realization like 2 months after I'd moved in. It's like like I'm out here doing this. Like
Yeah.
I came here to finish the job. So it's like. It's kind of insane, and
like your first week here, he was like, I was like, how's your week been? He's like, I haven't really stopped. I've just been in Wrights every day. Like it happened. It started working.
I mean,
quick,
it's
right?
it's a full-time job.
They put him to work.
I know. It's kind of like
Yep.
I couldn't ask for a better situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Like,
totally. It seems
I'm so grateful for it.
seems like a dream.
It's awesome. Yeah.
In some ways, it is. Yeah, but
It
it was
totally
even
is,
funny
yeah.
too because like he signed his pub. I think it was your pub deal. Or
Yeah,
record,
yeah,
whichever
yeah,
one.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, tell me about it. What was that like? You know, because I'm thinking he's in the table. Everyone's behind the typical pictures you see.
Yeah.
And what'd you say?
I was in my living room, and my dad had flown out to come sign it or see me sign it or something, and he was in the hotel room just hanging out.
Yeah,
it was so lucky. I signed it on my computer
casually, and he's like, and then I just got back to producing the song.
I didn't even sign it. I clicked the button. I clicked yes.
The DocuSign, the
DocuSign, literally.
Signature.
He DocuSigned, and he was back to producing.
Kind of
it was like
back to work.
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah.
But I like that because I've never heard anyone else have that story.
I know. I don't think I have either.
It's usually like pomp and circumstance,
Yeah.
So what was the lead up to? Well, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know, the pub deal, the record deal, and
well, I mean, the pub deal is. I mean, the record deal's in works, but the pub deal is something that I've kind of loved. It's weird because it gives me the feeling of being a professional songwriter, which is so amazing, but also like the most insane feeling.
Yeah.
Because I've always written songs, and it's weird to be someone who does that as a job.
Right.
Because to me, it's not a job. It's just my pastime. It's on my weekends, I still write songs. It's not like I'm stopping.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's honestly, it's gratifying. It's good
very
to
validating.
feel. It feels like someone believes in me, which is
Absolutely.
really incredible. It's a great feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah, they do. I mean, thankfully.
So, what are you excited about musically? Tell everyone a little bit about what your style is and what you're wanting, what your big dream is with it all, because there's a lot going on.
I mean, I grew up listening to John Mayer and Taylor Swift and even Post Malone. You know what I mean?
I love that he grew up listening to Post
I know,
Malone.
right?
I know. I one of the earlier shows. I went to a Post Malone concert in 5th grade, which I would not advise. But
I know.
incredible.
He's coming here, and he's playing. I don't know where. It might be Nissan. And I just saw that he was coming, and my kids his new song with Morgan Wallen.
Honestly, now I feel like he's very widely appealing. I feel
Yes, for sure. And they're my 8-year-old, he was like, "Oh, can I go? Can I go to the Post Malone show?" And me and my husband were like, "No,
He's so good.
no.
It's in October,
It is
right?
not a children's.
It's going to be
children's show.
But there'll be a lot there.
I like it.
It makes
I
me
like
think of
Post Malone.
this. I think I told you this, but I went to. Did I tell you about the Nicki Minaj show I went to?
Yes, yeah.
He and I were talking about this. Him.
You went to a Nicki Minaj show?
Yeah, so which is random and weird, right?
It's
For me,
weird.
It's not weird. I'll go to any show, but I wouldn't have just bought tickets to go. But I like some early day Nicki, right? And I think she is a brilliant artist because there's no one like Nicki, right? And the way her articulation, her cadence, her whole thing is Nicki. No one else does it like she does it, and so I admire that part. I haven't really listened to anything current. So I go with my friend who gets us tickets because her fiance is a big deal in the music business. Gets us 10 tickets. A crew of us go. We even get to go to the Gag City before, which I didn't even know what it was.
What is that? Is that her pregame?
It's her pregame thing, and they set up this whole Instagram room, and there was food, free drink, and you go to all these different stations and take your
and hobnob.
Yeah. Well, we just hung out together, but people go in there to get their selfies made, and I guess a lot of people, it's hard to get into Gag City, number one. You can buy tickets, but it's hard to get in there, and a lot of people go city to Gag City, right? It's just one of her things. So go to Gag City, go sit in the concert, and it's about 3 songs in that I realize, and there's kids everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, which kind of shocked me.
Crazy.
And they're all singing every word. First of all, I'm bad at remembering lyrics to songs, except my own. And sometimes that's a problem. But I don't know the lyrics to any song. And her songs have a lot of words.
Yeah, they do.
Right? And everyone's just singing all these songs. And she's up there dancing and doing her thing. And then I'm I clue in. I'm like, this is nasty. All her songs are nasty. And then it hits me. I was like, that kid's 8 years old and singing every nasty word.
Oh my gosh.
But there I was, Gag City.
Absolutely.
Were you verklempt?
I was verklempt.
Oh man.
I
don't remember what we were talking about before Nicki Minaj. Post Malone.
We were just talking about him.
Influenced
Yeah, his
by
influence.
these artists.
Oh, yeah.
Because you were about to tell us about your music, and we really derailed you. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not nasty.
Nicki Minaj and my music, I feel like this is
one of the
very
same.
close topics.
That was his setup.
Yeah.
He's gonna take over for Nicki, you know?
I grew up just listening to all kinds of music, and I mean, the main thing for me is playing live. Like, that's my, you know, like my favorite thing to witness and my favorite thing to do, honestly. And yeah, I feel like the music now is very influenced by, you know, like classic, just rock and roll music, like electric guitars and, you know, driving drums and stuff like that. But for me, I think growing up on all these incredible artists, like I always want to keep it songwriter focused. So it's like I can add all these production things and these grooves and stuff, but I think the core of it is just like having a good song. And that's just, I mean, especially since I've been here, like I've been so lucky to work with the coolest people and like people who I've dreamed of working with my whole life. Like,
Love that.
I mean, it's incredible. I get to do what I love and write songs and that's
Hang out
kind
with
of,
cool
I feel like
people.
you can feel it in the new music. I've sent you some
Yeah,
stuff.
totally.
I mean, I just kind of say what I need to say now. You know? It's kind of an evolution.
And your next single's coming out.
Next single comes out August 23rd, I
Okay,
think.
so
Mr.
August-
Optimist.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is amazing. Great song.
So
Thank you
cool.
so much.
Yeah. So that's exciting. What's kind of the little rollout plan for that?
Yeah, it'll drop. We'll do, you know, the whole promo thing, and then
Back to the social media game.
back to the
hard.
social media.
What's your relationship with that? You
know,
like it? You hate it? You
I hear
stiff arm it?
I hear both sides from artists. I feel like a
my
lot of
football
people.
reference.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. Sports. Yay, sports.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like a lot of artists are kind of either way. Some people absolutely hate it and don't buy into it at all, and some people
Yeah.
are like, it gives you a leg up, and so might as well. And I feel like I'm kind of a mixture of both. I don't love making promo TikToks, but also at the same time, it's like, that's how I find new music.
Yeah,
so
that's how you got found.
that's how
true.
I got found.
Right?
You
So
know?
it's kind of like,
I mean, it's just like kind of what it is, and might as
Yeah.
well, you know?
yeah.
I think with social media for sure, but with all things, I literally was just telling my daughter this, who's starting middle school this week, right? And there's a lot of anxiety and anticipation about. It's a big deal to go into middle school.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
you got to
maybe
introduce
the
her to
biggest.
Hudson's music.
Oh yeah, she'd love it. She's a
New fan.
She's a fantastic singer,
Oh,
first of all.
incredible.
And she's a
got
big
good
fan
ear
when
for
she likes music.
Yes,
Sweet.
she was a huge super fan. But I told her, I was like, because everybody dogs middle school, right?
Yeah.
It's the worst. Now, it wasn't my favorite era of school, but I didn't hate middle school at the same time. I didn't have a horribly traumatizing experience. I was like, it was fine. I had fun. I probably liked high school better, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But everybody would be coming at her like, oh, you're going to middle school next year? Oh, middle school sucks. And I'm like, I'd be like, shut up, because it planted all of this into her head, right, into her
Yeah.
psyche. And I kept trying to override that, being like, baby, listen. Middle school is going to be what you decide it's going to be. It is
It's
what
true.
you make of it. If you decide it's going to be great, it's going to be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And if you decide it's going to be terrible, it's going to be really
terrible.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my point in that is saying it's completely perspective. If you decide that social media sucks and everything about it is awful and it represents everything that's wrong with culture and the world and society, and some of that might be true, then you're going to hate your relationship with it
Yeah.
and it's going to be torturous. But if you
Absolutely.
decide that it is an amazing opportunity to connect with your fans, to
Mm.
change people, to better the world and your culture around you, then it will do those things.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's everything is the relationship of perspective that you have with something. And
Yeah,
I feel
that's good
strongly
advice.
about that with social media.
I think also, like, when you view it as a creative thing, it's a lot more fun.
Totally.
And interesting, because then
Yeah.
you get to think up your own ideas and make your own videos. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, it can turn into an art form within itself, but it's like, you got to just be real intentional about it. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
do.
do.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And just have fun with it and not care too much.
Yeah.
I think that's where I stop myself sometimes with anything that I post anywhere is like I just can't care about it. Like
Yeah.
do my best, get it done, let someone like Carlos help make it what it needs to be.
Shout out
and
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah.
And then let go of it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you have to do
Move
with a
on.
song. When you make it, you could remake that song until
absolutely.
you no longer breathe, right?
Yeah.
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 And there are artists who struggle with that
Yeah.
and they'll just sit on it, they won't release it.
Yeah.
And you gotta let go of these things if you really believe in yourself
You have to.
and
Yeah.
just not care too much. Just nothing's that cool. Nothing's
That's
that
so
great,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Nothing
we
is
are
that
just
cool. I
here
love
for
that.
a little moment.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And it does
So
not
true.
matter in the grand scheme of things.
And that comes
right?
down to ego too.
Yeah, it
you know,
does.
we just let
It's
our
all
ego get in
ego.
the way.
Totally.
With all of that. So you've
Listen,
got the
this is
social
fun.
media rollout.
Go ahead.
What were you about to say? Are you about to tell another story?
No, it's no story. It's just I'm sitting here. I was like, why do my fingers smell like shrimp? And I forgot, because I'm sitting like this, I forgot we ate shrimp before.
We did.
That was like
We ate
3 hours ago. I was like, what is wrong? I've washed my hands 3 times.
This is really like
They were good shrimp.
squirrel.
I found out today this will help
There's
you.
shrimp
This
from
will
Publix.
help. Do you like shrimp?
I've had shrimp maybe twice.
Okay,
in my
so you're not a
life, yeah.
seafood
Seriously?
person.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like seafood.
not a
Yeah.
big seafood guy.
Well, I was going to help you out. Publix, I learned Publix. Shout out to Publix.
Where shopping is a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Where shopping is a pleasure. I found out today they give you a free cookie if you want it.
To children.
And what? I'm going to get a free cookie.
or
I don't
to
even-
the
I don't
40
want it.
plus crowd.
Yeah, you get a free cookie, and they will boil your shrimp for you.
Steam.
Steam your shrimp.
Yeah.
Wow.
While you
And
wait.
you can actually pick your
That's a steal.
seasoning that you want them to season it with. They will do it
No
with
extra
fish.
charge.
That's
too.
crazy.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
look at that nice piece of halibut.
Yeah.
Can you steam it up for me?
I'm going to take them up on this offer. Tonight, I'm going to go in there and get some.
Go get you some shrimp. Anyway.
Yeah.
I love it.
Shrimp
Now,
hands.
Tori, what's going on? You got shows coming up? I mean, you got Austin City Limits, but
Yeah.
you're releasing a song. What's on the docket for you live music-wise
I
outside of
mean,
that?
so after the song, I'll be putting out a few more songs that I've been working on and hopefully bundle it up as an EP.
Yep.
And then, yeah, maybe do a few runs with a full band around kind of the southwest area.
Yeah.
Do a few college towns, do a few hometown shows. But for the most part, it's just kind of in the works right now. Yeah.
Love it.
But it's moving and grooving for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thing is, you're gonna be ready for when it all happens.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean-
and that's like, I don't even know how it started. That you were like, hey, I need to work with a coach. Like a lot of
Yeah.
artists won't do that.
Well,
Unless
I mean,
they really need it, you know. And so you were someone who didn't really necessarily need it because you're making these things happen. And I mean that lightly because you know as well as I do. Like we all need it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you could have easily said in your head, oh, I don't need that right now. I'm going to focus on pub deals, writing my songs, playing my guitar.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think for
But-
me, it's kind of like I am so interested in kind of investing everything back into like the work. So it's
Love that.
It's kind of just like, again, like this is the best job I could have asked for. Like everything for me is kind of play. So when I get the opportunity to go in and invest in myself and make things sound better and work
Yeah.
better
Right.
and feel better, it's kind of just like a good opportunity for me.
Which you did, right? You took some of that advance money from your first deal and
Yeah.
you reinvested in some gear.
Some gear, yeah. I got
You're
a
super excited
I got a
about
mic. I got a U87.
Yeah.
And then I got an Apollo Twin, which is crazy.
Cool.
Carlos is having to like, contain himself back there.
I know the excitement.
Yeah,
I can
he
feel it.
loves like
Gear.
He loves
I
gear.
know.
Loves the gear.
It's a drain. Yeah, no, it'll steal your money for
It'll
sure.
Steal
Yeah.
your money.
Yeah, no joke. But yeah, no, it's great.
So will Carlos. He's Puerto Rican.
Oh, watch out.
Hard cut.
Oh, gosh.
But no,
Okay.
it will drain your money. Right?
Yeah.
But again, it's a wise thing that you're doing for yourself, reinvesting in your art.
Yeah.
Because you're in this for the long haul. And this is your passion. It's what you want to do. And you're going to make it be the
Absolutely.
best you can.
Absolutely.
That's all we can ever ask out of any artist, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and the songs that are going to come are just going to be like, continue to be more and more amazing. I think
Yeah.
that's one thing that I can say on you, brag on you. You have an amazing tone to start with, right? And we've talked a lot about this in our sessions.
Yeah.
It's just it gets you right away. He's got one of those cool voices, right? And so you've got the tone, but you really do have this gift for writing a song.
Thank you.
And that is a gift, especially with the reality that you're still just 18 and you can write these songs like this. That's crazy cool to me when I see artists do that.
Yeah.
You know? And like we were talking about some artists at dinner the other night, one being Gail, who you're on your team, Gabrielle, works with.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I didn't know till recently that Gail, Gail, the girl that wrote A, B, C, D, E, F, U. that
Oh,
song,
yeah.
She's on tour with Taylor right now. She got her pub deal at 12,
Wow.
which blew
Yeah,
my
I
mind.
mean, she was young. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And that's the other thing I didn't know about her. She's an amazing artist, but she's an incredible incredible songwriter. She's written on
best.
all kinds of stuff.
She's the greatest.
yeah, and
Wow.
unless you really dig deep in who writes songs, you may never know those kinds of
Yeah,
things.
that's like a very deep thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's another one of your secret weapons is your songwriting. It's going to be like,
I mean, that's the biggest compliment. Thank you.
yeah.
I mean, it's my favorite part. You know?
Yeah, and again, like your team, your parents have to be so proud of all that.
What would you say, and this is a tough question, I think, when you're 18, but what would you say is your deepest...
Ooh, Shelby coming in deep.
It's like therapy.
Yeah, Shelby brings the
Sounds
deep,
like
I
it.
bring the dumb. You know?
don't short
Talking about
yourself.
shrimp pans. Did y'all see that meme I posted the other day with the alligator? With that, it was like,
Yes,
this is how
I did.
alligators lure their.
I saw the one you
With the
posted about your
jazz
vision
hands.
board, though.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Martha
the
Stewart.
greatest thing. Yeah, Martha Stewart
in her
Just
like
going
riding
Martha
gear.
Stewart.
Oh, gosh.
I'm like,
you
yes.
do love you some Martha Stewart.
I do, and she's
Incredible.
Like, she's a beast of a boss. at
Business
82.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Wow,
bring
sorry,
it back.
go back to your
Let me bring
dad.
it back.
I love it.
What would you love for your music to be known as for your audience?
That's a great question.
Does that make sense? Like, what impact do you want it to make? What do you want people to walk away from a show feeling as a result of experiencing?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think there's this feeling of community when I leave shows. Like, it's kind of like you're all enjoying the same thing and you're all connecting with the same thing, and that's something that, like, I think it starts in the songwriting. It's just being
Sure.
as real as you possibly
For
can, so
sure.
that someone out there that is listening to the songs can be like, oh, someone else feels that, and someone else understands it, someone else put it into words that I can express it myself.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think that's kind of what songwriters aspire to do. Like, I feel like as a job, it's just a goal to translate. And when you translate it well, I think you can connect. And once you connect, you find community. And I think that's kind of what I want to put out into the world. I feel like there's a feeling of kind of rock star mystique when you leave a show. And it's like the artist is there, but they're not, almost like they're not the main focus. It's like the crowd singing the songs and
Right.
feeling it like with the person next to you. That's kind of what I want to, make up. I feel like that's the goal.
And you
Yeah.
did that brilliantly the other night with what? What moment? Do you know what moment that happened where everyone in the room became part of that little community for you? It's when you and Grant sang Only Exception.
Oh, the only exception.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed it.
Yeah, you would have loved
Why
that
didn't you
moment.
invite me?
You would love
That's
that moment.
like-
You know what? I literally should have invited you.
Yeah, you should have.
I'm in trouble now. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, no, that was fun. I
It
think,
was a great moment.
Well, I mean, coming from TikTok and like having the videos that, kind of started it all be like covers and stuff, I think it's fun for me to share what my favorite songs are. And I told the story, like, I went to summer camp as a kid and I
Yeah.
had my sister's pink iPod, and I would download songs from iTunes and like literally buy the records to download onto my
Yeah.
like iPod Nano. And like I would listen to songs and be like, one, this is incredible, I connect with these lyrics, and two, I wonder what it would sound like if I had put out this song and like what that experience would be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still love to sing covers. I think when you have a song that you wish you had written,
Yeah.
it's kind of like an incredible feeling, and it's like you want to sing it and share it because it gives you a feeling, and that's why you wish you had written it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it was so fun. It was a great moment, too.
It was a
my
great
favorite
moment. Yeah. I think it's one of the cool things about music today too is just that we've gotten to a place where we actually want an artist to sing and cover
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it adds another layer. It also tells us a little more about them and who they love.
Yeah.
Right. And
Totally.
that's a cool thing.
Yeah, totally.
I
does.
love
Used to
that.
it was a little taboo, I think. You know,
Yeah.
to do a cover unless there was a direct connection for some reason. But
Yeah.
like now it's so cool when an artist does that.
Yeah.
And it's a great way, which to again bring people into your realm and familiarize
Yeah,
everything, especially as a new artist when they don't know your music.
That's,
yet.
I mean, that was kind of the goal, too, is like, I remember I had seen videos of like Lizzie McAlpine talking about she would do covers so that like her favorite artists would follow them, and that would give her exposure. And it's like,
Totally.
that's honestly why I started making covers, is like get people into who I am as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people are familiar with something and they like the way I sing it, and then they're like, oh, maybe I'll like the way he sings these other things and
Absolutely.
how he says these other things. You know?
I see that being super successful all the time on social media, especially.
Yeah.
I love that. I have one more question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do, but well, I forgot it. I think I went back to your jazz hands, man.
I didn't finish that punchline.
I know what it was.
The gator was attracting musical theater kids to kill them with his jazz hands because they swim on their back. Yeah, it was a real picture of his little claws or whatever they have are coming out of the. I got so many likes on that dang thing because it made people laugh.
Funny.
I actually got a ton of little laugh emojis.
That's crazy.
Okay, I think I remembered the question. Being 18, you have a unique perspective because you're young, and you're fresh into a deal. Because a lot of times we would ask this to maybe somebody older, more of a veteran in music, but your perspective is fresh. What would you say would be one or two things that were so key for you in getting into this like surreal dream that you're now living in?
I mean, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, support is really the greatest thing. I think it starts like with your community. My family is incredible and my friends are incredible and they've all supported me. And then I reached out and found support through like strangers on the internet. You know, I was posting videos and stuff. I think just access to people who lift you up is kind of something that's really, really a cornerstone in building what you need to build.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like the whole thing.
It's relationships.
It's relationships, absolutely.
I think I fell into the camp many years ago when I was trying to pursue music in my 20s of thinking these people are untouchable. How do I connect with them? And this was before social media, truly.
Yeah.
So it was a little different. There was a bigger
different.
barrier of entry. But the reality is if you do not ask, you won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So you got to shoot your shot.
So
you might
true.
as well. And so you do not. The Bible says this.
Yeah.
You do not have because you do not ask.
Yeah.
So maybe you should just go ask. Go see if somebody will talk to you. Go see if somebody will.
Yeah.
And just reach out and give it a try.
And that's kind of been probably the best thing. One of the better things of social media is it has allowed people anywhere to break down and ask anyone anything. And not everyone's going to respond, but it's easier to get to someone at a label now than it ever has been, right?
Yeah, and part
but
of
you
it
have
is
to
just
you have to show up and have your stuff together.
Yeah,
right?
part of
At
it's
least
totally
interesting.
like showing up and asking in a different way. Like for me, like posting a video was crazy. You know, like posting a video of me singing was insane, and I would have never done it. But I was like, if this is the way in, then I have to do it. You know,
totally, and that's a great mindset with it. And I mean, I think often. I don't know if you ever think this way or if you do, Carlos, but it's like, on one hand, I'm glad we didn't have social media, all of it, like you've grown up with, because it can make you manic and crazy.
It's crazy,
right?
Yeah.
But I am a little jealous of the access that you have to get your music out and how that does make it a little easier for an artist to like at least build a fan base, right?
Totally.
We didn't have that. We had MySpace, and we thought that was the coolest thing on planet
still
Earth.
on team bring back
it still
MySpace.
Is, yeah. Shelby's a big MySpacer.
It was so great.
Yeah. So social media, amazing artists, cool hangs, jazz hands, shrimp fingers.
Jazz hands.
We're gonna name this
Jazzy shrimp fingers.
Jason's gonna go back to doing lines of Old Bay seasoning.
I digress. Yes, exactly.
Oh gosh.
Clearly, that's what's happened to me, right?
my
There was
gosh.
something in that Old Bay. Hey,
Yeah.
man, this has been awesome.
Thank you so much for being
honored
here.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
been great.
And just so it's out there, thanks for trusting me with your gift because it's amazing.
Thank you.
I can't
Thank
wait
you.
for everyone to start to know more and more about you, who you are, your music, your art, and see your shows. It's going to be
And they're all going to
exciting.
get on their Instagrams and their
Yeah.
TikToks. Where are they going to find you? What's your handle?
At Hudson.Ingram. Mr. Optimist comes out August 23rd. And thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to the Vocal Lab Podcast. Ready to join the top ranks of the music industry? Don't forget to follow and subscribe for more first-class conversations that make the extraordinary your new ordinary. Until next time, keep striving for your top note.